Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pash On podcast. Let's get started with your host, Brian Pash.
Hi, this is Brian Pash, and welcome to another podcast. On today's show, I want to share with you some observations I had from the 2018 Automotive Analytics and Attribution Summit, which was held at the beautiful Breakers Hotel in Palm Beach, Florida. Next year, the conference will be held at the Breakers once again, November 19th, 20th, and 21st, so mark your calendars to attend today. The show brought together industry leaders and dealers to talk about some of the most pressing topics that are challenging dealers, especially in regards to marketing and online sales process. Day 2 was laser focused on digital retailing, and it's from those main stage panels and special activities that is the basis for today's podcast. Now, my highlight of the show, and it was a great show, is on day 2, I played for the attendees 10 videos. These videos were local Florida consumers attempting to lease or finance a car using 10 different digital retailing tools. It was very interesting to watch the consumers shop, lock into a car, and then follow down the digital retailing workflow, because we told them we want you to either lease or finance a car and do as much as you can do online to save you time. Now, let me give you a couple of observations. Number 1, our industry uses language that consumers do not understand. And as we watched consumers read or trying to navigate what buttons meant, it was clear that we need more consumer testing to eliminate any language that might confuse them. Second observation is that dealers' SRPs and VDPs have way too many call to action buttons. It's not uncommon today to go to a vehicle detail page and have 5 or 6 buttons. Get e-price, check availability, explore your payments, save this car, current value, or I don't know, maybe even unlock the price. I mean, it's so crazy that we are so focused on leads and not the consumer. We're so focused on getting their contact information before providing any value that I think we miss an opportunity to transform automotive retail. You see, multiple consumers had difficulties choosing which button, and one in particular who wanted to lease a car, clicked on the wrong button, went through an entire digital retailing workflow only to find out at the end that it was a finance process. Meaning there was no way to go back and say, no, I just want to lease it. The consumer would have had to have done the whole process over. You see, it was clear to me that digital retailing companies need to do more consumer testing, real local consumers to wherever the development company is located, and observe what they're doing. It was also very clear that consumers had no idea where they were going when they clicked on a button, explore payments, or buy this car today, meaning there was not a single video when they clicked the digital retailing buttons that said, okay, this is a tool that's going to help you save time in the dealership. If you want it really effective, get your VIN number if you have a car you want to trade into. And if you know your credit score, great. If you don't know it, why don't you look it up so that this process can give you a very accurate payment. You see, that's not what we saw. We saw consumers go digital retailing, click, click, click. Eventually, okay, what's your VIN number? And they're like, oh, man, I don't have my VIN number with me. It's in my glove box. Or, hey, what's your credit score? They were like, I have no idea what my credit score is. So they would guess. Again, they didn't even understand, some of the consumers, that credit score is actually a factor in what loan programs they could qualify for. In fact, one of the consumers, when presented with rebates and incentives and a credit score button, clicked on neither. And when I asked her why she didn't click on those two buttons, she says, well, I don't think it applied to me. I said, well, do you know that credit score has an impact on payments? And then she said, now that you're saying that, yes, it does. I just didn't think of it at the time. What I saw was software products most likely tested by engineers, people who know our industry, and there absolutely wasn't enough field testing. Another example that I couldn't figure out, well, until the conference where someone pointed it out for me, is one of the consumers went all the way through the process, and at the end, when they tried to submit their deal, it locked. It wouldn't go any further. And I looked on the page. I didn't pick up that she put an extra digit in the phone number. But there was no warning box. There was no red text that said, hey, invalid phone number. And I said, wow, you mean the developers don't have error trapping on data quality fields? You see, the opportunity for everyone in that room to see how consumers shop really opened their eyes that consumers have no idea how to pencil their own car. They don't understand all the options. They don't know the implications of rebates and incentives. They don't understand the implications on credit score. Now, mature buyers, people maybe with a finance background or work in the banking industry, probably know some of those things. But my observation was this. If digital retailing is truly going to save consumers time, if it's going to change the perception of the car buying experience, man, we got to do a better job of building software that consumers can understand. Now, I think in 2019, we're going to see really the next generation of digital retailing tools. There's a number of great companies out there. I've highlighted many of them in my new book, Just Faster. It's the first detailed look at digital retailing and the challenges that dealers face. You can pick up a copy of Just Faster by visiting brianpash.com/shop. And all my books are there, available to purchase online. Now, in January, we'll have a digital version available that you can download on Amazon or Google. But for right now, the book is in print at brianpash.com/shop. If you're thinking about transforming your dealership with a digital retailing platform, if you're thinking about strategies to create an easier buying experience, I encourage you to read the book. But more importantly, I want you to make sure that the tools that you decide to put on your website, the tools that you put in your showroom are consumer friendly. Now you would say, Brian, isn't that the whole point? These companies have tested these things and they've come up with great workflows. And the answer is we're all learning. There is no perfect digital retailing solution here at the end of 2018. But I will tell you, 2019, there'll be more penny perfect, stronger user interface products available to dealers. We're going to see OEMs push digital retailing onto their franchise dealers in a more progressive way in 2019 and 20. So if you are a student of the industry, it really is important to start testing, investigating, ask your peers about which platforms are really working and which are still in the infancy stages of, production testing. And so take a look at the opportunities that you have in the year ahead. And there isn't a single dealer that I have talked to that hasn't been concerned about rising interest rates, competition, lowered margins. The only way that dealers can make more money, because the front end margins are almost negligible, is more back end gross and lower labor costs through efficiencies and automation. Digital retailing will typically increase back end gross and lower labor costs. So digital retailing isn't just another shiny object. It's something that is aligned with the challenges that are facing dealers in 2019 and ahead. Again, if you want to learn more about digital retailing, I encourage you to join me in May at the 2019 Digital Marketing Strategies Conference in the Napa Valley. This is the 9th year that the conference is being held. And again, we'll have a day focused on digital retailing. A number of the digital retailing development companies are all based in the Bay Area. So it's going to be very easy to bring the top executives of companies that are leading the charge for retail sales transformation. So digitalmarketingstrategies.org is the website. Get your team registered. Napa is a beautiful place, and May is a perfect time of the year to visit. I want to thank you for your time today. If you have experience with digital retailing and you want to share that with me, drop me a note to Brian at brianpash.com as I work to update my book and the processes to help dealers transform automotive retail sales. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week on another podcast session.